Hey everybody, it is Friday morning and I just got the lights turned on a little while ago. I also got a package arrived early this morning, and that's going to enable me to get some work done down here today. Now, I'm not going to be able to get started just yet. I'm getting ready to get my day started, but hopefully this afternoon when I get back in here, I'll be able to get some more work done. Real quick, before we get to that, while I've got the opportunity to see him, I just noticed my whiptail is up on the glass right there, so that's pretty cool. I see him up there occasionally, but it's not very often. It's usually on the glass in the back, or actually on the piece of wood itself that I've got in the tank. It doesn't necessarily always attach to the front glass like this, but it probably feels pretty safe and secure behind that huge mass of red tiger lotus. And that's exactly what my project is going to be today, is to get in here and do a massive water change. The problem I've been having is that my current water changing equipment is broken. I've been leaking all over my basement floor, so I had to get rid of it. So this is what showed up in the mail this morning. I got a brand new water changer. So I don't need all of the apparatus. I just replaced the actual valve part of it there, that centerpiece. I replaced that not long ago. My original one had broken. I got several years use out of it before it finally broke, and I was able to simply replace that valve. They do sell that replacement valve by itself for just a few dollars. So that's brand new in the other room. And then of course the hose part, the gravel vac part itself, I have no problems with that. That's just a piece of plastic. The only thing I broke was the actual hose itself. It's just been stepped on so many times over the years that I finally got a couple of holes in it, and it's leaking on my basement floor. So I'll have some spare parts now. All I need again is that hose, but I've got a spare valve, I've got a spare gravel vac. So in the future, if anything else breaks, I can deal with it with those little spare parts right there. In addition, this box contains a brand new Sun 304B canister filter, and I don't know if I'm going to put it on this tank or not. The last time I did a water change and worked on this filter, when I was pumping it, they've got a if you're not familiar with these tanks, they have a that blue button right there you can see is a pump, and that pumps the water to get it flowing again, and it starts the cycle. It starts the water flow again once you've got the filter hooked back up after a water change. And when I was doing that, every time I pumped, water was pumping out through the seam, and it's not supposed to do that. And I eventually got it up and running again, and the water flowing, and once the water started flowing, it wasn't leaking anymore. It only leaked when I pumped. So I don't know if maybe there's a bad seal or an O-ring, or who knows. I don't know, but I got a new filter, so if I need parts from it, or if I just want to replace the whole filter, which is pretty much what I would do, I'll use the old filter for parts. And so that new filter is probably going to get installed when I do the water change today. And well, maybe not, because there's something else I want to do, but that's going to be in a different video. If you've seen some of my other videos where I've complained about how the UV light inside these filters actually breaks down and deteriorates the plastic of the trays, I know a way that if you do something before you put the filter together, you can prevent that from happening, rather than what I've done in the past, which is repair the damage after it's happened. This will be my first opportunity to prepare the filter in advance, and then we'll see, once I've prepared it, will we get more life out of it. Although I'm probably not going to run it all the time with the UV on it, so we shouldn't really have the issue of deteriorating the plastic anymore. But I am still going to do the video showing you what I'm going to do to prevent that from happening. So the other thing I want to get done while I'm down here today, hopefully later if I can get some time to get down here, I really need to do a water change on this tank. And yesterday morning I noticed that one of my creek chubs here has nasty looking stuff on its head and a little bit on its body. I don't know what that is. It actually looked a lot worse yesterday, like to the point where even though it was 9 o'clock at night, I was considering trying to get it out of there because I thought maybe it was another columnaris outbreak. I do have one or two of these little rosy side dace, and it looks like their upper lips might be a little bit white but I can't tell if that's just what they look like or if that's actually some sort of disease starting to break out. So I'm not sure what to do with this tank. He does look better today than he did yesterday, so we're not necessarily going in the wrong direction. It could be just some injury that's been infected and now it's beginning to heal. I don't know. But now that I've got my water change hose again, we're going to get in here today and I'm going to do a great big water change because this tank is really overcrowded. The overcrowding and the stress probably plays a factor into it, and then of course the high bioload in here. You know, this tank has lots and lots of nitrates and nutrients and everything else, and while that stuff's not going to kill any of your fish outright, it does all contribute to reduced immune capabilities and so on and so forth. And so just keeping your tanks clean in a general sort of way is important for the overall health of the fish, and that could be contributing to what's going on here. So today this tank's going to get a great big water change, probably like an 80% water change. I'm going to swap out what's in there and put fresh water in basically. And I'm also going to salt this tank. I've got aquarium salt, and to my knowledge, with the possible exception of the pleco that I have in here, who is actually hiding behind my power head back there. You can see that. Sort of. See that big fish up against the glass. We'll come around this way and see if we can see him a little better. There, that gives you a little better look at him. So I don't know how well that one would do with brackish water, and I've got a Chinese algae eater in this tank, and I don't know how well Chinese algae eaters do with brackish water, but all the other fish in here, as far as I know, the chubs, the minnows, the Neotropis species, even the even my tilapia down here, and the crayfish can all go in brackish water. So, I mean, I could honestly convert this tank over to a brackish tank if I wanted. There's no point in it, and there's no reason to. But I could if I wanted, and all the animals in here, with the possible exception of those two that I mentioned, will do fine in brackish water. So my concern was salting the tank and putting a little bit of aquarium salt in it, which is not the same as brackish water at all. I won't have any issues with these animals at all, but any kind of little bit of disease or bacteria or something that's growing in there, maybe a fungal infection, I don't know, but that will probably not do well in a higher salt concentration in the water. So that's my goal for today. We're going to get in here, going to do a great big water change with my new siphon hose, and then we are also going to get in my gourami tank here later and do a big water change and plant trimming, and hopefully I'm going to get to working on the filter. Again, look forward to that because I am going to do some video where we talk about getting this filter all prepped and ready to go when I put it in the new tanks. Again, that may not be part of today's video, but later today I will be doing some videos of the work I'm going to do down here. So make sure you're subscribed, and that way you won't miss any of that or anything else. So don't forget, this one here is my gourami tank, and the first one, or the other one we just looked at, is my 125 gallon native tank. So thanks again for watching, and again, make sure you're subscribed, that way you won't miss any of these updates coming up. So see you soon on the next one.